has been. And this will not be the end. You see it repeating itself. There was a time they used tights. Trousers called tights. If you know, there was a gym that they call stretch. You put it on, it will just be on your body, you know. And the mouth is like pencil, you know. So it is revolving. So everything you see today, they are not new. They have been there before, and they will continue to be. So every generation faces challenges, and those circumstances may vary. The nature of trials, struggles, and uncertainties are recurring themes in human history. So we should not be surprised or overwhelmed by current difficulties. Similar issues have been faced and overcome before by people who went before us. Number two, see God's sovereignty in every time. God will always prove He's sovereign in every season, every time, every generation. In Daniel chapter 2 verse 21, Daniel chapter 2 verse 21 says He changes times and seasons. He deposed and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding. The important thing is that He changes the times and the seasons. So He is in charge. He is in control of the times and seasons. He is not taken by surprise by any situation. He is fully aware and in charge. That's the point I'm trying to make. So there is no time that comes and it takes God by surprise. God is always in charge. So we can trust God's wisdom and sovereignty, even in uncertain times, knowing that He orchestrates everything for His purpose. Number three, I want to show you an example of, a few generations that had difficult times. Number one is the example of Noah enduring the days of wickedness. In Genesis chapter 6, from verse 5 to 8. Genesis chapter 6, from verse 5 to 8. So the wickedness we have today is not new. It didn't start with us. Generations past have experienced it, and there were people who overcame. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of thoughts of his heart was only evil, continually. And it repented the Lord that He had made man on the earth, and it grieved Him at His heart. Their own came to a point that God regretted that He made man, and He made up His mind to end them. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping things, and the fowls of the air, and for He repented me that I have made them. Look at verse 8. But Noah, somebody say, but Noah. Well, Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Even when God was regretting for making man, there was somebody who made God proud, who made God happy. So wickedness has always been there, and there have been people who overcame in times like that. And so just as Noah was preserved, we too can find grace in God's eyes when we live righteously in a corrupt world. I can give you the example of Elijah. Elijah dealing with national idolatry. 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 21. 1 Kings 18, 21. And Elijah came unto all the people and said, how long halt ye between two opinions? If the Lord be God, follow Him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word. So in Elijah's time, the nation of Israel was torn between worshiping the true God and Baal. Idolatry, confusion, and national crisis were very rampant in their time. But like Elijah, we are called to stand firm and help others turn their hearts back to God amidst societal compromise and idolatry. So in times like this, like Elijah, we must stand firm and even become an instrument of turning the hearts of others to God. Look at Jesus' word. That's my point number 5, Jesus' words. In Matthew chapter 24, 6 to 8, look at what Jesus said concerning the times we are in. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquake in divers places. Verse 8. All these are the beginning of what? Sorrows. So Jesus predicted these things even before now, saying that we haven't even seen anything and somebody is already giving up. If you faint in the days of adversity, your strength is small. So Jesus warns us that troubled times are a part of unfolding plan of God. These events have always occurred and will continue to happen. So rather than being afraid or despairing, you should be prepared, staying spiritually alert, and trusting in God's ultimate plan. I want to thank those of you who endeavor to be here today, saying, sit at home or no sit at home. I must be in church today because I have an appointment with God. And God brought you here. He will bless you today. Number 6, look at the early church. They had their unfair share of trials and persecution and difficult times, but they didn't give in to that. Acts chapter 8, verse 1 and verse 4. Acts chapter 8, verse 1 and verse 4. And Saul was consenting unto his death, and at that time there was a great persecution against the church, which was at Jerusalem. And they were all scattered abroad throughout the regions of Judah and Samaria, except the apostles. The apostles stood firm and said, we are not going anywhere. Therefore, they that were scattered abroad went everywhere preaching the word. So for them, the challenge they had was even an opportunity for them to preach the word. So current challenges may seem overwhelming, but they can serve as an opportunities for the gospel to advance and for God's purpose to be fulfilled. Number 7, I want you to see the unchanging faithfulness of God. God can never change. He's ever faithful from generation to generation. Lamentation chapter 3, 22 to 23. Lamentation chapter 3, 22 to 23. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. Glory to Jesus. The steadfastness of the Lord never ceaseth. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning, new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness, O Lord. Oh, great is thy faithfulness. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Oh, new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness, O Lord. Great is thy faithfulness. No matter how overwhelming today's circumstances may seem, we can count on God's steadfast love, his faithfulness to carry us through. Number 8, look at Paul's assurance. The same God in every situation. 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 8 to 10. 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 8 to 10. For we would not, brethren, have ye ignorant of our trouble which came to us in Asia, that we were pressed out of measure. Somebody say, out of measure. Pressed out of measure. Above strength, in so much that we despaired even of life. We were gasping for breath for our life, but we had the sentence of death in our life. It was like there was a sentence of death over our life, that we should not trust in ourselves, but in God which raised the dead. Somebody shout hallelujah. Verse 10. Verse 10. We who delivered us from so great a death, and doth deliver. Somebody say, he delivered and he still delivers. He delivered and he doth deliver. In whom